We call the Great Debate right here on the Late Night Show. Of course, the Great Debate is brought to you for a kind of podcast in the whole day for hosted by of course, it is all about the August 9th elections for the Parliament of State Matters. So, without further ado, let's introduce the two panelists that are here out of the four. You know, for dramatic effect, I did make sure show the two empty seats because I petty like that. But either way, let's introduce our two panelists that we have here for this debate. Good day, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming and answering the call. Let's start off with the United People's Party represented here by the number 4 candidate.
A blessed day, Andrew. A blessed day to everyone, your viewers, the supporters, and thank you for the invite. I am MP La Cruz here representing the United People's Party in this debate today.
Thank you. And of course, the number 4 candidate of the URSTEM, no stranger to the debate.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew, first of all, and thank you to your viewers. My name is Herbert Martina, caring for country, community, and people. I am a member of the URSM, as you just mentioned, the Unified Resilience Movement, and I'm happy to be here and have a great day.
Quick question, Mr. Martina, this is very serious. Do you miss the National Alliance?
No, Andrew, I don't miss the National Alliance. I think you're putting me on the spot right
I just wanted to...
no, I don't miss the National Alliance. I feel right at home where I am.
Okay.
I do miss some of the people and the camaraderie. However, we see that the deterioration of the party, we see that the party have moved from certain principles that they hold dear. And that's why I cannot say that I miss the party, but I do miss the people, for sure.
What a politician answer. I love it. All right, let's start off with Mr. La Cruz, MP La Cruz. Of course, you are a newly sworn in MP, I guess, and now, back to elections. How do you feel having to go back to the polls after working so hard to get to become a member of parliament?
Well, Andrew, I don't think it's so much about how I feel. It's basically how the country feels. I am glad that a representative of the URSM is here because maybe he could give you a better explanation why Parliament was dissolved. Because it is extremely disappointing. I've always said if one day I would be in government and that would take place, but a majority is formed, I would definitely just say, okay, you know what? Hey, that's how it is. And I would walk away because sending the country back into elections is detrimental. It hurts. It hurts people's pocket. It hurts the taxpayers. So it's not so much about me, Andrew.
Yeah.
I'm talking about hurting the people's pocket. I'm talking about hurting the economy and everything. Let me just mention this because I have it written down, as a matter of fact. When Article 59 was imposed, first of all, they say that the budget for holding an election is $500,000 guilders. However, an election estimates 300 plus thousand guilders. But with the mismanagement of government, and we saw different things uncovered while being in office, the Prime Minister explained, and we concur wholeheartedly, losing 300,000 guilders to leaving the country run amok or to leaving those that want to go back inside to finish, whether it's deals, finish tenders that were not even, passed for bids and everything. If you weigh the cost, then I would say, yes, election is imminent. And the most important thing, uncovering what has been uncovered now, I would say that the Prime Minister had some kind of foresight to know that why a certain MP shifted his alliance. You can see whether it's investigation going on now. So then it makes me wonder, maybe it was a good idea to go into election.
No, and I was just about to say, so that would mean that the situation, the reason for the elections, um, you would say then it would be good because of the investigation that is happening. Because I guess that if everything was still intact with the 2x4 prior to Mr. Migret leaving, um, it would have been that one of the members of the 2x4 would have been investigated.
Yes, it would have mean that one of the members of the 2x4 would have been investigated. Um, However, the changing of alliance, changing, uh, made him more vulnerable. So whether he would have been investigated now or later, that remains still in question. Okay? But the fact remains that there was something happened, and that's why Article 59 was imposed.
I'm sitting just listening and wondering what, as a member of parliament, let's just say I do not agree with the direction that the coalition that I am part of is going. I think then it's number one, my given right to say, hey, I do not support this any longer and shift your alliance. Okay. What I think is happening right now, right? The narrative, and let's put aside that the MP was, questioned, picked up, or whatever. Let's put that aside for now. But what you're doing, you're telling other members of parliament, if you are not in agreement with the coalition or the group that you are in, and you leave, this is what could happen. People would start to say that you jumped for money, you did this, you did that. And I think that is dangerous because you're telling a MP then, you know what, stick around, even if you think what is happening is not right. Now, the investigation, if it was going to happen now, under this government or under a newly formed government, that is up to the prosecutor's office. I don't even understand why they wait so long. If you have information, and come out with it and deal with it right away. So again, but this is still not, in my opinion, a valid reason to send us back to the polls. I totally disagree with that.
Now, MP Cruz, what if MP Mingret, as an independent member, supported the United People's Party and the National Alliance and did not go back to the 2x4? That would mean that at this particular moment, the new coalition would have been in hot water because then a member from their coalition would have been investigated, or that's left to be seen.
But let me ask you this question, or put it in this perspective. Who is he supporting now? Because he sat on the floor of parliament and voted for the chair, the first chair and the second chair with the coalition.
Okay.
So he is, in my opinion, he is still supporting the 2x4. He is still in support of the 2x4.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he went back. So,
if we're back to elections or not, that makes no difference.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gentlemen, let's move on to electoral reform. And
But
I think,
Andrew, if I can just raise a point here.
let's wrap it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up. But my question is, a government that boasted, patted the chest and tapped their backs by saying, we were 4 years in government, stability.
Mm-hmm.
These are the same perpetrators who initiated, or should I say, contributed to an instability. And when I looked at the stability of government last term, I look at it as stability for St. Martin. Honestly, even though I did not support that coalition.
Mm-hmm.
However, now, all of a sudden, they are contributing to the instability of St. Martin, contributing to an instability of a government. Not even 100 days of governing. How can you have a report card without being tested, not even 100 days? And I don't want to, I'm going to bring it out right now, but we all know why election was called. We all know why people want to, or should I say, the now opposition wanted to get back inside. We all know what it is. And maybe later we're going to touch on it,
Yeah,
right?
maybe I was just about to say, I thought you were to tell us why.
Well, I can do so,
Yeah.
right? It is because one of the big things is because of personal deals, and one of it is the cannabis. I'm going to say it here today. All right. I'm not going to talk in riddles. This is it. How is it that a cannabis deal is signed and they want to push it, push it, push it? There's going to be a monopoly on this cannabis deal. Was this talked to? The WIMA, which is the Windward Island Medical Association. They're totally against the pushing of this. Turning Point, totally against this. And the people who are, pushing this agenda, it's a rebuttal,
Yes.
but let me wrap it up. The people who are pushing this agenda
Yeah.
give Turning Point a donation, but they ain't telling you that Turning Point give them back that money and did not cash the check. So we know what this is about. This is about the cannabis deal.
All right, thank you, Mr. Martina. Let's go into the electoral reform. I think since we've opened the floor when it comes to the instability and the fact that we are going to this new elections, the snap elections, as a member of parliament, MP La Cruz, any plans for electoral reform, and what are those suggestions, if any?
So, Andrew, our party, and you heard MP Bryson said that he expected it to be done from the government, because this is something that should have come from the Prime Minister. But we are going to take it upon ourselves and move forward with it. But I have a little, I think it's going to take a group of 23 people that have St. Martin at heart to do this. Let me explain you why. Someone has to give
the DP, because the DP is 23 people.
23 people. I'm talking about 15 members of parliament and the COM.
Okay.
Okay? Someone needs to give up that power. Someone will need to give up the power, because the situation right now is simply parliament could send home government and government could send home parliament. Once you put restrictions to how government could send home parliament and send us back to an election, right? That means the government that is there needs to give up that power. And I am not too sure that you will end up having with a coalition that you will be able to see something like that ever come to pass. And I think that is one of the reasons why it has taken so long. You will need a government to say, hey, only under these conditions we can dissolve parliament and sign off on that. And I don't see that happening.
All right, thank you. Mr. Martina.
I think it has to do with maturity. And again, how can you? Yeah, I know it's like the proverbial saying, maturity.
We all wish, but I mean,
However, you can't talk from both sides of your mouth when you're talking about it comes from legislation. How can you say right now and sit down here and say yes, we don't see it working with a coalition, right? Where that has been the construct since 10-10-10. What we need to do is firsthand get people on your list that are like-minded, get people on your list that are committed to this country. And of course, you can't imagine what somebody else is thinking. However, you do know that when it comes to sending home parliament, or when it comes to sending home government, right? We need maturity as well. Okay? We need maturity. So I think maturity is all about it, and it's about the individual who is running for office to say, hey, this is where, because legislation, we had governments inside who are doing or who decided to contribute to legislation, and up to now, it's not finished. So before legislation is done, we need to be mature.
now, Mr. Martina, just to piggyback off of that fact, Article 59, the interpretation is what usually is contested. Because, of course, as Article 59 it states that you can dissolve the parliament, But the whole idea behind the construct of Article 59 was that it has to do with if the Parliament is in a deadlock. So now that it's being used differently by different prime ministers, including the one from the USM, do you believe that that is our right interpretation instead of it being a deadlock and not to, okay, you know what, I don't think this is going right. Let's have elections again 6 months later.
Okay. I would send back the question and let's take Parliament, for instance, sending home a minister. All right. And based on
Your Parliament is the highest body, though, Mr.
but
Martin.
let me
Okay, I listen.
I no longer, or this minister no longer support or gets the support of this government. So you're sending him home. What's the reason? It could be, I don't like how the minister talked to me. I don't like how the minister doesn't answer questions and stuff. Is that a real reason why to send home a minister? So we're talking about stipulations. Let's have stipulations all over the board. Let us get this done. So I want to throw it back, you know? What about that?
Okay, I understand. Good point. MP La Cruz.
So, Andrew, it is obvious that we are having two different conversations. We're talking about legislation from the point of a member of parliament, because that is what is needed. Okay, legislation or changes to the existing legislation to curve the problem that we have right now. So maturity has nothing to do with it, because if it is written in law, then you could feel however you want to feel about it, but the law is the law.
It has,
So
it has,
the-
1 minute. Max.
it has nothing to do, if the law says you could only send home parliament under the condition that there's a deadlock, that there's no clear majority in parliament, for example, in X amount of time after the support was pulled, then COM would not be able to move or divert from that. And like Mr. Martina just said, if a reason would be needed to send home a minister, then I ask myself the question, who appoints the ministers? The question, who appoints the ministers? It's members of parliament who appoint the minister. And you appoint a minister basically saying from the beginning, this is what the party believes, this is the ideology we have, these are the plans, these are the things that we've promised the people. And if the minister then at that point goes in a different direction, then it is your party, it is your members of parliament that say, hey, we are not happy with the way you are going and we want you to leave. So again, it boils down to legislation. And we need to always remember that the highest body in the country is parliament. And these are the ones that are elected by the people, not the ministers.
Mr. Martina.
if we scroll just a few minutes before, we was talking about legislation, and it was said that this should have been done by the prime minister. Now I'm hearing that it is parliament supposed to be doing legislation. Okay? What I'm asking is, then shouldn't parliament do its job and to legislate? Since you're the highest body, then legislate. Then let's get it going. Let's move it. But don't just push it on the ministers, right, or the council of ministers to do, because they are there to facilitate the whole legislative process and execute.
This is good. You're watching the great debate. We have from the USM, Mr. Herbert Martina, and from the United People's Party, MP Francisco La Cruz. Both are number 4 on the USM and one on the United People's Party. Of course, coming up for the snap elections set for the 19th of August. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more the great debate.
At GEBE, we take the safety and quality of your water seriously. Every day, our dedicated sample collectors venture into the field, visiting the places that matter to you: water tanks, school, supermarkets, home, and high-risk areas. Once these samples return to our water quality lab at KB, they embark on a journey that safeguards your well-being. Our dedicated analysts take over, sending these samples to the microbiology and chemistry departments, respectively. This is where the magic happens. We test for a range of parameters, and we do this every single day, no matter what, including holidays and weekends. In our microbiology department, we focus on two major tests targeting various bacteria. Confirmation tests are conducted, and we have plans in place in case the results are confirmed. And then we do it all over again, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Rain or shine, your water safety never takes a day off. So when you turn on the tap and enjoy a glass of GEBE's water, you can do so with confidence. GEBE, the power to serve.
Four years uninterrupted, yet the electorate wasn't convinced. January 11th, you were graded and fell short. Your support regressed, yet here you are doing all that you can to get back in. St. Martin, don't be fooled. Let's think critically about our choices. Hashtag keep them out. Fabio Doralis.
At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and an exciting new airport mall. Finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport. The experience will move you.
And I'll fall on my knee. Tell me how to wait to be. Tell me how to wait for. Tell me all that I should know.
Greetings. I'm Anna Elaine Richardson. You know, after the results from the January 2024 elections, I realized it was an opportunity for me to take some personal time after dedicating 4 long years as the Minister of Justice. I didn't anticipate us going back to the polls so soon. However, many of you have been asking me if I'm going to contest the snap elections on August 19th, 2024. Yes, I will be contesting this election. And this is why I'm inviting you to join me and my fellow candidates on the National Alliance slate this Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024, Postulation Day, as we march to the Parliament of St. Martin to submit the qualified list. On the campaign trail, I look forward to meeting many of you as I seek your support and vote on August 19th, 2024.
Great job, Carl. Thank you. Jeremy, come on up. For the final word in the Spelling Bee Championship, please spell insurance.
Insurance. N-A-G-I-C-O. Insurance.
That's correct. I hope your father can spell Nagico too.
Nagico is insurance. Insurance is Nagico.
Rafita is a woman of integrity, and she believes in what is best for the country. Facing the issue, she will do it caringly. Rafita is who we need, experience guaranteed. Rafita, 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 already. Rafita, 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 Rafita. Number 6. Oh, you wanna say?
Welcome back to the Great Debate. We are here with the USM and, of course, the United People's Party, two parties out of the four that was set to be here this Saturday. So we will continue nevertheless. This question is for Member of Parliament, Francisco La Cruz. And this has to do with your recent campaign promise of all locally born residents will get a residence permit. Can you elaborate? Because you given the impression that just anybody that's born will be getting a permit. Is that the case?
A permit. Well, Andrew, I'm happy that you noticed the billboard.
Yes, it's pretty huge. So I had to.
You know, small billboards cause accidents.
Oh,
Okay.
so you're helping the environment.
You could read it, and it needs to be bold and clear.
You see, Mr. Martina, he's mature.
No, for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Andrew, I went through a hard time seeing locally born kids treated like foreigners, having to go through the immigration system, and literally being beat down. These kids are raised with the sense of, I am not from here, I am a foreigner, and that is troubling. Andrew, literally kids that are born here go through their whole lives in immigration lines and feeling like foreigners, requesting documents from the country where their parents were born, while they have never ever touched the grounds of those countries. Now, when we look at a treaty that was made between the Netherlands and the US, the Van Rechtswege literally says that an American that comes to St. Martin, all he needs is a birth certificate and insurance. And he could write in here on St. Martin, get Van Rechtswege, and which is permanent residency, and live on St. Martin. So I am asking myself the question, we have a child that is born here, a child that will, at the age of 18, once they have gone through the education system and passed the Dutch, that child could now request a Dutch passport, and that passport will say, born on St. Martin, nationality Dutch. That passport does not say, born to foreign parents, born to a Dominican mother, a Jamaican, a Haitian mother or father. It does not say that. But you have already disassociated that child from the country. That child doesn't feel like he belongs here. God forbid this ever happens again, like it happened to Richard Charles, that a child at the age of 16 and a half graduates valedictorian and cannot get a job, cannot get a scholarship because his parents at the time missed a year or anything with their documents. So that child now deported and murdered in Haiti.
Mr. Martina.
Well, I commend the good MP for taking up such a challenge, and he is in the position right now to champion that. I concur everything he says, and I want to say that I wholeheartedly would support any initiative coming in that direction. I just wanted to add that we see it every day. It's a challenge, and not only a challenge, but it is atrocity that children being born here go through the system and don't even or can't even obtain what is called a right to be here. So when they leave, they have to get certain papers in order to come back. And I want to say that I would support that initiative wholeheartedly. So I don't know if that's a plea for, a coalition deal right there, but I'm just letting you know that that is an initiative the URSM can stand behind.
Now, I don't mean to put you on the spot, Mr. Martina. However, the MP Roseberg of the USM was very critical, or at least she asked questions about the manner. Recently, someone who was born, in St. Martin was deported. Well, not deported, but went for medical reasons off island and had a hard time coming back to St. Martin. So is this the stance from you as the party itself? Because you said USM, but then she's asking questions to her own coalition partner.
Okay, there's two things we have to separate. Asking questions to her own coalition partners and asking questions on a whole. The MP was very clear in her interview because she got some sort of backlash with that.
Yes, from MP La Cruz.
Well, from MP La Cruz and other people in the society. However, the MP was very clear and she said, listen, this is not a new phenomenon, all right? It is her job to ask the questions. And of course, she could have done it in a different setting, whether it's a maturity issue or whatever. We don't want to touch there. Ask the MP, the good MP, why she would do such a thing. However, I see nothing wrong in asking questions so that everybody can know the process that it takes in order for other children and other families to be reunited. This is not a new phenomenon. This is not the first time such cases happen. And fortunately enough that this person came back and was reunited with their family, but there's still people out there who are suffering the same fate. So what are the processes going forward so that we can apply this same process to other families? And the MP was clear. She went on a radio tour explaining herself. To me, one radio tour too many. However, I think she did a good job by explaining herself. Now, whether that is sold to the public, that's a different story. But it was clear to me.
MP La Cruz, any rebuttal?
So, Andrew, there's ways to doing things. There's times and a place to do things.
You don't think he was a bit aggressive
No, I was not.
in the press release?
I'm gonna
by saying know your place.
I am going to explain you because at the beginning, the first part of my press release, right, spoke about a situation that took place in Parliament where we had to empty the halls of Parliament because of the way that the MP was going on at someone that could not reply to her, sitting right there on the floor of Parliament. And I said it at the day I said it. I said, this is disgusting. It disgusts me to see something like that. So definitely, if there was anything, right, I toned it down a little. I toned it down a little. There's a time and place. You are seeing a mother with her kids that literally 7 years of their lives were missed. Andrew, I have my two youngest sons. If I go one day without seeing them, I feel like crying. And Mr. Martina is a father also, so he knows that feeling. That was not the time. That was not the place, because that is your coalition partner. If you wanted to score points, right, all she had to do was say, hey, tell me what did you do to make this possible, right? And if there's any legislation that needs to be changed, I am a lawyer, I am a member of Parliament, I will put it together and bring it to the floor of Parliament. But that, at that point, right, was exactly what we do not want. And from any member of Parliament, the sarcastic, and I'm going to say the sarcastic Dutch way of doing things.
You just have a way of finishing right on time. Rebuttal, Mr. Martin.
Again, it seems like I'm speaking on behalf of the MP.
I know. And that's not the idea.
Exactly. But I hope that the MP gets an opportunity on this, or she got an opportunity on this platform, and I think her stance
it was addressed,
was clear. However, let me say this. I am nearly 100% sure that in the manner, and he speaks about the Dutch way, he speaks about, how a lawyer thinks and how they go and ask questions. Could it have done, or could it have been a bit more tactful, maybe. However, I think that doing that or asking questions opened up the avenue for dialogue and to amplify what has happened and the reunification of a family. So if you look at this, whereas we're talking about people who gave the MP a chance to be an MP, they are Sematnas. People who gave the MP a chance to be an MP. As a matter of fact, the MP was born in the Netherlands. Okay, our Prime Minister is from Curacao. By God, sometimes my last name Martina, people confuse. Oh, you Curacao, and stuff. That is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the rights, and this should have never happened. Let us talk about legislating, and not have the whole hoopla. Because I see a lot of people are using this as political ammunition,
Political football. Yeah.
and it is not good, and it's very unfortunate for the family as well. Because yes, we understand that you could be outraged, but in my opinion, the outrage went beyond. So what you're doing is you're counteracting an energy. The outrage went beyond. You also could state your claim and say, no, this is unacceptable. Do whatever you want to do, but then don't go and do DMAS.
Thank you. All right. MP La Cruz, any final words or you're good?
I'm glad Mr. Martina agreed with me.
I don't know. I don't think he said he
know,
agreed. I don't think he said he agreed.
I know about agreeing.
MP, I don't know.
He agreed. He said simply, right, that was not the time, the place, or to make a political propaganda about it. And I solely believe so because, and Andrew, it is not something, it wasn't a new story to me. I know the family.
Mm-hmm.
It was brought to me, and I told them, I said, the way it was done is incorrect. The way they were trying to get the young lady back here was incorrect. It was not right. It was not the truth. I said it. So I told them, I said, that's not how if you were, the minister has the right under humanitarian reasons to deny or to give anyone a visa waiver. And being it a mother with children here on St. Martin, that should have been done long time ago. That is my opinion. Anything else around it, right, is show and looking for votes. And Pila Cruz is not about that.
Well, at least it got done. Yes.
I just wanted to make a side note. First of all, I didn't agree with you wholeheartedly, all right? So I want to set the record straight. However, he mentioned something that captured my my enthusiasm right here. This should have happened long time ago, under the tenure of which coalition, and that to me speaks volumes. All right, that to me speaks volumes. So I just want to leave it there.
Okay, thank you.
7 years.
All right.
The last 7 years, not 3, not 4. The last 7 years, and I did mention it was tried. And what happened? It was done, and it was requested in a manner that was illegal.
Can we ring the bell for MP La Cruz, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's go into the next topic now. Of course, I wanted to ask a little bit about something that's true to you, and which is sports. We haven't heard too much of it during this snap elections. Usually, we get the renditions of cricket fields and golf courses and swimming pools, but haven't heard anything concerning sports. What are your plans as far as having a sports strengthening program or anything of the sorts if elected to parliament, Mr. Martina?
A good question, Andrew. Let me just say, first of all, again, you hit the nail on the head. Every election cycle, there's something about sports, whether it's a cricket field, drag racing, the list goes on. However, there are plans out there. There are already existing plans, worked out plans, and the sporting department is going to come out with some stuff. Why I say so is because I'm privy to some information. But what myself wants to do, exactly,
Yeah.
I want to strengthen the organizations that are basically facilitating sports.
Which ones? There's a lot.
There's a lot. So on the whether it's strengthening the federations and thus funneling money through the federation and then all sports getting tapped into that, right? That's one of the things that I am going to be vehemently rooting for. It is our sporting facilities are run down. We have also basketball being played, baseball being played, our, what do you call it? Down
Cricket.
there by, not cricket, in Cahill, all right? Deplorable conditions
Oh,
since
yeah.
2017. Now, through the trust fund, I know that they have allocated money in order to fix those fields and in order to give some money. But again, the strengthening of the organization is where I'll be tackling. People are doing their things already. All right. What I'm going to do is come and enhance them, give them that boost.
All right. And La Cruz?
Well, Andrew, you don't have to ask me about sports because you know what I have done in the last 4-5 years.
Oh, yes.
So sports, I have sponsored basketball teams with uniforms, volleyball teams with uniforms.
Battle of the Fittest, I believe, right?
Last year, Battle of the Fittest, I sponsored the Haitian team. I brought them here to St. Martin. The Boxing Federation,
Oh, yeah.
I sponsored the Boxing Federation. This year, I am the sponsor of the Haitian team again, of Battle of the Fittest. So when it comes to sports, you know, the boys on the team, they reach out to me whenever, you know, not too long ago, I donated basketballs. And the thing is, Andrew, and again, sometimes people think it's about votes and about a show, but I seldom take pictures because to me, it's making sure that these guys are, you know, and I say it, once they're playing sports, they're not breaking into your homes. They're not riding bikes, wheeling, putting their lives in danger, you know, because they're playing basketball on the court. And that is what it means to me. So I'm going to continue doing what I am doing. And I don't expect and I don't rely on government or anyone else to do my part. As a father, as a caring citizen, and as an MP, I'm going to continue to push sports on the island from my own pocket if I have to.
Now, part of sports that which makes it a bit difficult for athletes to actually go away and represent St. Martin. We've seen it many times, gentlemen, where you have many federations who are funded by government and they don't receive the necessary support, so they have to do their own fundraisers. I can imagine that you get bombarded by them and ask, you know, like, okay, well, we're going to the Olympics, but you know, we can't get no money, or it was too late for subsidy, the red tape. So I can imagine any way to curtail that red tape.
You know, and Mr. Martina would agree with this when a lot of people think that it is easy to send a letter to government and boom, you got money. Okay, it has to be part of the budget, that's one. But it's a long red tape. And sometimes these federations, these organizations don't have the time for that. You know, so I have a couple ideas when it comes to making sure that monies are allocated for different events like this. And it boils down to preparation. Because if, for example, the Boxing Federation, they know a year in advance where they want to be and what are the events that are going to be taking place. So once that is sent into government from before, then the members of parliament could say, okay, you know what, we're going to make sure that it's in the budget to make sure that these federations can travel and get these things done. But again, you know, what bothers me a lot is that we turn around and we blame government for everything. And it's not only government. It's not only government. Parents also. If my son's school calls and says, hey, you know what, we have a function or whatever, I put my hand in my pocket and I say, because it's going to benefit my kids also. And not everyone can, I understand.
I was just about to say that.
But $1, $2, $3, we all can miss that. And that is, if that adds up, that adds up. So my plea is to parents, to mothers, to fathers, do your part. Do your part when it comes to making sure that your kids can grow. I got a request from a dad. While I know the son, his dad sent me a request because he's going away to represent St. Martin. And the last time that he went, he got no support, but on the airport, they were waiting for him when he came back.
Shake hands.
To shake hands.
All right, Mr. Mackey.
I also wanted to give some of my accolades in sports as well. MP mentioned Battle of the Fittest. He sponsored a Haitian team. I am the announcer on Battle of the Fittest. Not only that, but I also have organized basketball camps. I've also sponsored team. So that is a phenomenon which I commend the MP for doing so, and I, encourage him and other people as well to keep on, giving a sponsorship, a helping hand.
Yeah, a little more than $3, of course.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing his part.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. But what I'm saying is also on a governmental level, yes, we don't look at government, but if funds are allocated, then let us channel it in the right direction.
And what is in the right direction?
Well, what is in the right direction? There's this gentleman right now. He is of St. Martin parents. Phenomenal boxer. All right. His stepfather is Haitian. Right. He is now fighting in New York and going to the Olympics under the Haitian flag. All right. You don't know that. And a lot of other people don't know that because it flies under the radar. But we have similar situations. Okay. What are we going to do about that? We have to have a holistic approach. And whereas strengthening federations, we spoke about asking for funding, putting it on the budget. You have to do that on time. You have to be able to know, hey, if we don't submit this a certain time, then the budget meeting is going to be called, and then there's no money going to be inside of, to allocate for that. So what we're doing is, or what we should do, is actually teach them, equip the federations on not only how to submit, but also how to write projects.
I am extremely happy that he mentioned a young man that is boxing under the Haitian flag, because that is exactly the problem that I am talking about with immigration. If he had gotten that feeling that he was from here, he would feel shame to box under any other flag. The sense of belonging.
Even though he used the resources here to become the boxer that he is? No?
To be quite honest, he did not use the resources here. As a matter of fact, his stepfather is Haitian, and under that. But it just goes to show you, whereas government, on a governmental level, other countries are taking notice to their athletes who have some kind of affiliation. And there is a return on investment in sports. There is a return on investment in supporting those talented individuals right here who are homegrown and go abroad. Let's take, for instance, Curacao and Aruba. And we always bring this as an example with the baseball players, all right?
Oh, yeah.
What happens is when they return home, they come with their friends. The friends spend money. They enjoy. They also bring equipment. They invest in ball packs and stuff. And all we have to do is let us support these young individuals and train them and mold them so that we can have a return on investment. It will be beneficial.
The great debate. Francisco La Cruz of the United People's Party, and of course we have Mr. Martina of the URSM. We will be right back with the closing segment.
Man, my data just ran out.
Here, you can use my phone.
Thank you. Come on, man. My data finished again.
Relax, honey. You can always use mine.
Wait, how come you always have so much data?
I told you I switched to Tele mobile postpaid plans. Those plans come with plenty of data, so I will never run out of data again.
Okay, well, why don't you come over here and show me more about these plans? Because I'm about to switch to Telem data now.
Raising the Bar with MP Roseberg. Join her for direct, thoughtful, and inspiring morning updates. Tune in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings. As we gear up for Election Day, let's think deep and make each day count. Mark your calendars and set your alarms. Let's raise the bar with MP Roseberg, because every day is a step towards a better tomorrow.
Vote for me, your number 6 candidate, Edsel Gums, on the National Alliance slate on August 19th. Help me, help you.
Say Martin for this election.
Good day, Edward Jurendi Duran. I'm here now at Dollison Drive. I must say that I'm proud to see the results of the work that I started during my tenure as Minister of Rummy finally coming to fruition. This was a major project, one of 40 roads that we were able to execute during my tenure. As we go along in the year, the more and more roads will come online, and I'm just saying, walking through here, speaking to the residents, seeing the smiles on their faces gives me great joy, because it goes to show that the work was not in vain, and now they can enjoy a smooth ride home. And that is what it's all about. Thank you.
Good governance, for alliance, for the run, with the master plan. To save this country, we need everybody to vote the run.
Welcome back to the great debate, right here on the Late Night Show. Of course, we have the URSM and the United People's Party here. Gentlemen, when it comes to the crime situation on St. Martin, I know that it has been rising for some time. And I know that every party would have a different approach when it comes to curbing the crime situation. And Vilacruz, crime situation.
Andrew, when I look at the gun violence for a country that guns are illegal, then I ask myself, how are these guns getting into St. Martin? Okay? Not playing any blame games, but why do we not have scanners or by the harbor? Where is the investment for that? I think that our harbor needs to be expanded, and I think we need scanners, even if it takes a little longer. We need manpower. We need to put money into human resources to be able to curb that. We need to teach our kids how to deal with aggression. I have been in similar situations where I've seen kids lose their cool while in school. It was a daily routine to stop fights because kids didn't have an outlet on how to handle these kind of issues. So it is not a plan that could be executed from one side. Everyone needs to do their part. But I do truly believe that we need to find a way to get scanners up by the harbor, that we could scan containers, packages, and things like that that come in.
Is government doing enough, MP Lacus?
The question is not even so much if government is doing enough. The question is, what else can be done? And that is what it boils down to. You have police officers that are disgruntled. They are not happy. They're not. Andrew, any country that your police officers are not paid properly, corruption is high. Your teachers are not paid properly, your education and the level and the quality of your education goes down. Your healthcare workers, they stop caring. They stop caring. So these are things that we as a country, we need to start to find ways to put monies into, these sectors to make sure that these individuals are paid properly and do their jobs with pride and honor. Because it is almost impossible to ask a police officer to, do his job wholeheartedly if he is thinking about what he's going to feed his kids at the end of the day, while taking the risk outside there protecting and serving our people.
Mr. Martino, same question.
I wholeheartedly agree with MP La Cruz when it comes to we have to take a holistic approach on this matter. Why I say so is because it is not one simple fix. We see the crimes that are perpetrated now. We're talking about more police officers, trained police officers to defuse certain situations. We're talking about rehabilitation of first-time offenders, not to get them back into the rotation, the system of being second-time and third-time offenders. The economic situation here we need to fix, because sometimes it is, hey, you know what? I don't have any money. The best thing to do is go
with the crime,
or what they can do. However, how are we equipping the job markets? How are we making it, how are we facilitating that these people get employment and good employment so that they can feed their families? So immigration, that is also a big issue and a big part to play in this whole crime situation. It had one time, just like this in the past, many of you don't remember because you probably wasn't born then, but there were different hits being committed on people on St. Martin. And then when you look at it, they were of foreign background, even jumped on a boat or jumped on a plane, come here, do their crime. So it have to do with immigration, border control as well. So a holistic approach. What I mean by a holistic approach, we need to, of course, invest in our police officers. We need to train them, but we need to find the money in order to do so as well. So I hope that you would give me some kind of time to mention some money-generating mechanisms in order for our coffers to be laced with and equipped so that people and projects can be done.
Yes, we'll give them about 2 minutes. Yeah. Um, but be careful, because I mean, it's people can also borrow your ideas after giving them.
No, that's the misconception, and I wanted to say that as well. An idea that is given or taken up by the past government, right? If it's a good idea, I wholeheartedly will execute. I'm not one to hold my ideas and when election comes, you unfold and hoping that you get elected to run with it. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Okay? So let's talk about the health levy on passengers. Okay? We can introduce that. A study was done, however, not executed as yet. Why it's not executed? Again, the problem with the SER. Fast track work permits is a big generators. I'm talking about going through the proper channels, but have them expedited. Okay, that can bring massive amount of money into our coffers. Reducing the stay of SZV patients abroad. Okay, having a quality control manager who is well equipped with the knowledge, knowing that hey, maybe they don't have to do therapy up in Colombia, to name but one, but they can come back here, and we have capable doctors who can then do the therapy here. Or we have telemedicine, whereas maybe they just have to check, here and there. Those are cost-cutting measures in order for us to save here in the coffers of St. Martin. A big one that would generate a lot of money for the island is moving people from the gray economy. What is the gray economy? People that are working and not paying their fair share of taxes. And it would help to put into the funds of the GHI or the NHI, whichever one you want to call it. Okay? Those are things and steps that are tangible. Now, I'm not going to say a lifestyle levy or a lifestyle. Some people call it the sin tax, but we can't call it the sin tax because smoking and drinking apparently, sin. However, putting tax on tobacco, putting tax on alcohol.
Rough.
You know why? Because the majority of people here, believe it or not, they don't smoke cigarettes in St. Martin. It's an export something. People buy cartons of cigarettes. Yeah. All right. Those are generating funds.
All right.
I think Mr. Martina was paying good attention to my campaign last election and even in others. I did speak about sin tax, sugar products. If I literally, you go to a supermarket, you pay $1.25 for a soda, but in a restaurant you pay $3 for
$3, yeah.
So if government says we're going to take 25 cents from that and allocate it, so we're going to add a tax to it and allocate it to a specific plan, which would be something, let's say, a diabetes center, a state-of-the-art diabetes center on St. Martin. We then get medical tourism. It's going to lighten the weight on SZV because we don't have to send people away anymore to cut off their feet or deal with diabetes. And people actually die away, not so much from the illness, but it's from loneliness. Okay, so that I would look at when it comes to sugar products. Tobacco, I would sin it. In Aruba, a pack of cigarettes costs 18, 20 guilders. And here it's $1, $2. So if we add $1 to that, right, that is not going to stop you from smoking, Andrew. You are still going to smoke. But guess what? If I take that $1 and put it into a state-of-the-art cancer center, that also now will help you and everyone else. Taxes on casino and lottery winnings directly to a state-of-the-art addiction center. Okay? These are funds that we could say, hey, that is generating new monies. Those are funds that don't exist. Okay? Tourists, I know that one of the attractions to most Americans or anyone that comes here as tourists is that it's duty-free, but especially when it comes to those products. But we need to make sure that we're taking care of our people.
All right, gentlemen. Let's do some final words. Maybe you can incorporate it, close off on that, and then give your final words, Mr. Martina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Andrew, again, and thank you for this platform. Thank you to my fellow debater here who threw some shots, especially saying that I paid attention to his campaign last election. Yes, I paid attention, and that's what I do. And to vie for office, you need to be able to pay attention to certain things and be sensitive in the community. However, I will tell you this. I also paid attention that right now the leader of his party, Omar Otley, on the up, is saying, and he's campaigning on getting 500 homes done for the people of St. Martin. 2 elections ago, it was 1,000 homes. This time it's 500 homes. And guess what? 2 elections ago, 0 homes. This time around, it's 500. It was reduced. However, do you know that $2 million that was allotted from the trust fund for housing project was turned back? It is in Washington right now. So how can you want homes to be developed and the trust fund have money allocated and available? However, you don't do anything in order to secure that 2 million. It is gone. Just like we had to get a state-of-the-art shelter, 2 of them we were supposed to get. Now we're only going to get 1. Why? Because certain things was not done. And it was easy things, quick wins, and it was not done. I'm asking myself, are we going to fall for the same old? I hope not. My name is Herbert Martina, caring for country, community, and St. Martin. I will be a representative for you, the people of St. Martin.
Andrew, first I want to thank you for having this debate, and thank Mr. Martina for joining me. Little disappointed in others that they didn't show up, but such is life. The United People's Party, when we promise you something, we get it done. Okay? Andrew, you literally, all you need to do is go back and look at the meetings in Parliament and educate yourself properly and find out why the NRPB had to give back that money. And it boils down to wanting, because they didn't have the manpower and there were not enough companies to be able to build more homes here in St. Martin. That was the explanation we got, and that's why this had to ask for an extension to be able to not lose those funds. But that has absolutely nothing to do with the United People's Party, because the United People's Party was not the party that held the portfolio to build any homes. We are now in a new election, and we are promising people that if we are granted the opportunity to become the biggest party on St. Martin, we will take care of it, and we have a track record. When we say we're going to do something, the United People's Party get it done. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming. Of course, good luck for the snap election, and hope to see you again soon. All right, that does it for the great debate. Special thanks to all parties who have committed. Next week, we should have the number 3s. That should be another interesting program. And then my favorite one is going to be the number 2s, because I see that some back and forth is happening on Facebook with that of the number 2 of the PFP, and the PFP, Rayan Peterson is challenging Sharendi Duran, a member of Parliament. He's the number 2 on the National Alliance. And of course, the best post that I saw was when MP Duran said, I don't know why you want to debate me when you can't even become minister. Either way, it's going to be a good number 2 debate if the PFP shows up, because they haven't showed up to none of the debates. Maybe they'll come to the number 2s. All right. Andrew Dick, thank you so much for watching. Until next week, have a good one. Bye-bye.